Thanks for joining another edition of the never-ending climb for a stronger supply chain and procurement for companies running SAP. Today, we're going to dive into the top 9 craziest things that I see over and over and over again. Let me be clear, though. If you hear yourself in one of these, it's not you. It's not up to you that you started this way, but it is up to you what you do about it. So, on your never-ending climb, to make it better, here are the 9 things that I want you to listen to, listen for, watch for, make sure that this doesn't happen for very much longer in your organization. Number 1, not using a release strategy and a workflow to approve purchase orders, purchase requisitions. Pick one, don't approve both PRs and POs. Just pick one or the other, get a release strategy, get a workflow, and get it happening on mobiles with the new Fiori approvals. You should already have all the licenses for this, because otherwise, the before looks like you got to sign into SAP, you got to go to either the workflow box, or you got to go to the right transaction code, you got to go to the right PO number, then you got to go to the right tab, and then you got to go, wait, what's the button on here? It doesn't say release. There's something I got to click. What was it again? And then, oh my God, if you forget to save, you get to do it all over again. Or you can pick up your mobile and you can do red button, green button, go. Done. That is a before and after that I think everybody needs. Number 2, not using stock transfer orders. Let me tell you what this looks like. If you are creating a sales order and a purchase order just to move some stock in between different areas of your organization, say between different plants or between different companies that are all related to each other, oh my goodness, you've got to stop the insanity. It's called a stock transfer order. You can set it up. We'll link up something in the comments below to make it easier for you to find a guide to go help set that up, because you should just be able to transfer it. Number 3, messy material and vendor masters. So the vendor master especially, this one is painful because sometimes we run into companies that say, oh, well, we sometimes do business with this company this way and we do business with them that way, or sometimes we pay in 30, sometimes we pay in 60. You know what they do is some of them have set up 2 copies of the same vendor and they try to remember which one to use. It's just nuts. So when you're looking at your business partners is what you should be getting to. If you're not already there, your vendor master, just pick one vendor. Don't try to mix and match. Don't try to clone them. Keep some governance around that. And if it's not a tidy, organized lineup of your suppliers, it's time to do some cleanup. Number 4, checks. Oh my goodness. Don't even get me started on how frustratingly inefficient checks are. I know some people a long time ago felt real good going and depositing a check or writing a check, and it feels all, what's the word, bigly? No, just move electronic. And to go with that, I keep seeing organizations that even insist on a vendor. If you've got, say, maybe a vendor was overpaid by $1,000, you might find that part of your organization insists on getting a check from your vendor, horrifying, I know, and then having to clear that just so you can shave off that difference. If you're doing that, let me introduce you to something called debits and credit memo. This means that you can apply a credit or you can apply a debit to that vendor account, and then you can reconcile and clear that out. So you could have 3 invoices that you need to pay a vendor, and then you've got something where they needed to give you a credit, but don't make them send you a check. Put a credit on the account and then clear the whole bunch of those things in one payment and send it off to them. That's going to make everybody's lives a lot easier. Number 5, multiple purchase order or purchase rec document types for minor variations. Let me tell you what this looks like. If your quick reference guide or your instruction manual for your SAP system says, well, pick NB for this and OB for that and ZB and AB and BC and XY for whatever, somebody somewhere over-engineered something in a massive way. Those are typically things you handle in little rules or in the workflow release strategy. You want to keep this pretty simple. You want to keep it to just a handful of different document types that you use, because the last thing that you want to do is find out that you thought everything was going through NB and everything's going through Z1 because it's a faster, simpler, easier approval process. Happens way too often. Number 6, relying on email instead of B2B collaboration tools. Now, what this is going to look like is you need to email an OCR or snail mail invoices around and scan them and try to figure out how to do that, or you're emailing POs to your suppliers and hoping that they confirm them, and hopefully you're not missing when they say, yeah, we can do that next month, but not this month. And when all of those things are flying around over email, it's just a recipe for stuff to get lost. There are so many tools out there to help you move from email to something that help you collaborate better. There's Business Network, there's other tools out there, but you got to level up from email. Otherwise, you're using hope as a strategy that your supplier is going to actually deliver what you asked them for. And hopefully they didn't lose the email in their junk folder. Number 7, having significant vendors with strategic relationships and price lists that you've organized, and only using a purchasing info record. This happens more often than you might think, where there's these things called contracts in SAP where you can set up price or quantity contracts, and you can say, for instance, here's the 1,000 things that we buy from these vendors, and here's the prices for them. When you do that, you set it up so there's a start date and an end date, just like with the price contract. Think about it like the schedule for all the prices that goes along with the contract that you already, somebody in your supply chain group or purchasing group already negotiated with them. Now, if you get those into SAP as a contract, you've got more of a single document to go and measure. And then when you go and renew it, you don't accidentally leave a price valid on an old purchasing info record or an old price. And this is one of the quickest, easiest tools to move from individual prices and purchasing info records for everything to using contracts. It will simplify things tremendously for you. Number 8, investing in expensive procurement add-ons and bolt-ons and third-party things and whatnot without ensuring their adoption. There are all kinds of opportunities for an organization to say, look, you need to buy these 12 modules to go and revolutionize and digitally transform all of this stuff. I've never met a vendor that has it all, and I would implore you to please look over the top of your glasses or look at that salesperson like this if they are trying to tell you that whatever solution they're offering has everything that you need. What I would encourage you to think about too is, if you have multiple different modules that are being pitched at you, unless you are ready to remember that each one of those modules typically needs to be turned on and implemented, ideally you can do that in one big go. But if you are going to do that with lots of different things all at once, that's a lot of change for the business. That's a lot of implementation. That's a lot of things to think through. And the bigger it is, the harder it is to get right. We've talked to a bunch of experts that have implored folks, please, to think about taking little bites on a mission, on a directionally correct path to where you're trying to go. And when you do that, you can take smaller bites instead of buying lots and lots of stuff and hoping that you can manage that onto people. Number 9, over-customizing, building custom stuff, building custom portals. There are so many pre-built solutions. If you are looking for things to go and solve what feels like something that you think maybe SAP would do out of the box, take a look at the SAP store, take a look at some of what SAP has as add-ons, take a look at what other solutions are available before you go and try to custom build stuff. Oftentimes there are organizations, and I know mine is one of them, that makes add-ons because you keep seeing things that it's just not there out of the box. And if you feel like you are so special, unique, and different that nobody else in the world has run into this problem, it's time to look up and out of your organization, because I would bet money that what you're looking at is not a strategic differentiator. It's probably not worth spending the millions of dollars to go customize the heck out of it. There is probably 5 or 6 figure solutions out there instead of 7 figures of customization. So think about what you can do to buy, not build. And there are a lot of things out there that are just waiting to be discovered to help you avoid customizing stuff. All right, quick recap for you. One, not using a release strategy and workflow and Fiori approvals for all of your POs, and just generally not using some of the new Fiori capability that you probably already have, even if you're still on ECC. There's a lot more capability and options out there than you think you might have. Number one, not using a release strategy, a workflow, and Fiori approvals for your purchase orders, and generally, if you are not using some of the Fiori capability to go make things easier, that is worth taking a look at and fixing pronto. Nobody needs to be using their dad's ERP from 1998. Number two, not using stock transport orders if you are trying to move things between plants and companies. Number three, using multiple entries or having an untidy vendor master. It's just not worth it. It is more trouble than it's worth. Number four, insisting on getting a check or not using credit and debit memos to go and help organize and clear your accounts and keep them tidy. You're just using checks generally. Number five, using multiple purchase requisition or purchase order document types for minor variations. It's just not worth it. Number six, using email and hope as a strategy instead of making sure that you've got some digital collaboration to make sure that your suppliers get you invoices that are correct and that you get your POs to them and that they are confirmed. Number seven, using only purchase info records without using contracts. Huge time savings there. Number eight, investing in expensive procurement add-ons without making sure that you get the adoption. Make sure that you plan for the time to go and roll them out. Think about those small bite-sized pieces towards your goal. And number nine, over-customizing or building things that are already built. I hope this finds you incredibly well. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again soon on your never-ending climb.